Hey folks, Tim Lysing, R2 Unified Technologies, based out of Boca Raton, South Florida. I want to talk to you guys today about a common trend that we're discussing with our clients and customers as we get into mid-2021 and um, IT and businesses are starting to consider what their workforce strategy is going to be. Um, as you very well may know, a lot of companies are deciding whether they want to move to more of a hybrid workforce environment, if they want to reopen the office and have everybody go back in, if they want to reopen the office and start to bring people in on shifts like a hoteling type scenario, or if they're going to go from 100% work from home style environment. That and the combination of shared workspaces like WeWorks of the world presents unique challenges on the IT side of how are you going to enable the users to work in all of those different locations? How are you going to provide and apply security control as they roam around those locations? And how are you going to make sure that they're able to get access to those specific applications and resources they need access to from their day-to-day functionality and job roles as they demand it? So we like to, in our world, consider this as the distributed workforce. And as companies come to us, they ask, how do we enable our users to be able to get access to these resources? And how do we lock down controls as they move between these specific environments? And how do I do that on a unified policy as well? So in a traditional world, we had users working from the branch office where we had control around the edge, we had control around the endpoint, we had control around identity and directory services. And as those users moved over to 100% work from home, we lost a little bit of that control. Now, maybe we were able to enforce that with having them do a VPN back to a headquarters location, and maybe we had edge type controls. But nowadays, we want to make sure that we aren't locking them into a specific set of tools. Now, what the technology landscape has done to adapt to these challenges is basically provide and put security as close to the edge client connection as possible. And what I mean by that is we're going to provide security as close to the internet edge to that device. The terminology for that is called Secure Access Services Edge, or SASE. Now, Cisco does have a play for that on their Umbrella and SD-WAN platforms, which we are definitely believers of here at R2. We actively deploy it and tune it for our customer base. But I want to talk to you about SASE as a whole, where it makes sense, and also how you can enable your IT team to deploy it, tune it, and more importantly, add security control to your end users. So regardless of where I am in the world, I can be working from home on my laptop, or I can be working out of a branch office. Regardless of where I am, as a user, I know I need to get access to the same resources. Now, common resources that users need to get access to could be things such as SaaS application, infrastructure as application, uh, platform services, you name it, your users are getting to it. And then in the same vein, you could have a private data center where users need to get access to homegrown applications, something maybe we need to have a little bit of a tighter security control. Maybe it's physical parameters. Maybe just the application and workload doesn't do well within a public cloud. And then down here, we can have also our users working out of a shared space. Now, traditionally from a branch standpoint, this is where we put security control at the edge as we access the internet. What this allowed us to do was have anybody who's within our branch location fall through a series of checks and enforcements and policies before accessing the internet or before downloading and bringing any internet into the branch. The challenge becomes is as the user rolls between a branch, a shared space, and a work from home, how do we emulate or simulate that firewall type experience as these users gain access to the same resource? Simply put, we need to make everything act as one major cloud. So how do we do that? Well, we take and we extend security as close as possible as we can to these edge locations. So from an internet standpoint, before I even get access to my destinations, which could be my SaaS, my infrastructure, it could be my data center, I'm going to create a SASE proxy that my laptop and a shared space, workplace, or even in a traditional branch environment is going to be able to take advantage of before I get access to my destination. Now, what does this do? It means as I'm working from home and on my laptop, from an IT administrator standpoint, I can see an agent that's going to create a crypto tunnel out to my SASE cloud, and it's going to go through a series of health checks and compliance checks similar to what we have in a firewall. Now, within Cisco's world, they have what we're going to call SIG, or Secure Internet Gateway. And what SIG is as you have your respective locations and your client or your laptop or your mobile device or what have you accesses that SASE cloud, it's going to go through a series of security checks. Things like layer 4 firewalling, anti-malware prevention, cloud access security broker, content filtering, data loss prevention, and a series of other health checks where you can set parameters around how you want traffic to behave on a white, black, or gray list before getting out to my final destination. So let's go through an emulated example of a day in the life of a work from home user who's going to roam from working from home to a shared space to my branch, all under the same SASE environment. So let's say, for instance, I am working from home on my laptop and I get access to the internet. What's going to fire up and what Umbrella and SIG is going to look for is it's going to look for the nearest point of presence in the Cisco private cloud. So what Cisco's done a good job of is it's created major points of presence throughout the United States and globally of your on-ramp to their private network. So as you create that tunnel to that SASE proxy, basically you are hitting a Cisco private cloud. And as you hit that private cloud, say your destination is the data center, you are going to go through all these different rules before you are permitted or you are denied access to those data center resources. Now, within a branch type environment, we can actually build that SIG type technology into the existing firewall or routers that you've been using. The router will extend a full tunnel out to that SASE cloud to take any endpoint that's within that branch and put it through those same checks and parameters of as if you were working from home. Now, from an administrative standpoint, this is a dream because you have control over all the different security controls, regardless of what that user is. But let's be realistic. All users do not have the same type of behaviors, nor do they have the same type of resources they need to get access to, and security controls differ from organization to organization, from group to group. One of the beautiful things of things like Cisco Umbrella is you have direct ties into your directory system. So depending on my organizational unit or function within that organization, I can draft, create, and modify my policy of how I'm going to behave in the SASE cloud, depending on if I'm in HR, sales, or dev, whatever role or function I have within the organization. So IT, it's a set it, forget it. From a user standpoint, you never notice it. It's a lightweight agent, but you know that you're getting the security and the protection regardless of where you are and how you get access to the internet. This work from home, shared space, and branch can all be protected with the use of a SASE type technology. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Appreciate the time today. If you got any questions, please contact us on our R2 Unified Technologies page, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have around SASE or any type of security related technology. Thanks. Have a great day.